Look at the old one. Oh my goodness. Just like that. And I just give it the old up and down, in and out, and side and side. Hey furball, how your doings? This here is my daily 4-cylinder economy car, and she's been pretty good to me. I got it for dirt cheap. I've been driving it for 3.5 or 4 years now, and this car owes me nothing. So it's been pretty good to me over the last 3.5 years. Just recently, though, I blew the Serpentine belt. Serpentine belt's not easy to get at on these vehicles. So the air conditioning was never good on this car. I had to refill it every year. And just recently the air conditioning pump seized and it blew the belt. But there's 2 belts on this vehicle and 3 if you include the timing belt. So there's one belt that runs the alternator, and then there's a separate belt that runs the power steering and air conditioning. So the air conditioning belt blew, I lost power steering. But if you know anything about me, I'm used to old cars, and sometimes I tinker around with classic cars. And a lot of classic cars didn't have power steering. The water pump runs off of the timing belt, and the alternator has its own belt. So when I needed to use the vehicle, I just drove it with no power steering. So the water pump's working off the timing belt, the alternator's working off its own belt. I just have no power steering. So I don't really, the air conditioning never worked great on this car anyway, so I don't really care too much about the air conditioning. And you can't really put a belt on unless the air conditioning is fixed. So I think I found a way to bypass the air conditioning with a shorter belt. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to put a shorter belt on so I get my power steering back. And because this vehicle has a steering rack, I don't know, it's not easy to steer it without power steering, so steering's really tight. I need to get my power steering working again. So I have a 39.5-inch belt here with 4 grooves made to fit a 5-groove pulley. This here is my Serpentine belt, and it has 2 dead ends, so it's split. It's not supposed to do that. Nope. And it's really curly too, like I don't even know what. Anyway, it's really curled up, snapped. This is a lot longer than 39.5 inches, but it's also supposed to go around the air conditioning. My plan here is to avoid the air conditioning with the 39.5-inch belt. So you have to take this wheel off here to get to access the belt. I find that's the easiest way on the passenger side. There's not a lot of room on these vehicles. If you pop the hood and look under the hood, it's very difficult to see the belt at all, because these engines are crammed in there, they're shoehorned in there, front wheel drive, transverse. And the nose on the PT Cruiser, it's a classic style, classic body styling. So the nose points forward. If you look at the shape of the hood, points forward. So it just gets tighter and tighter as it goes to the front. So this is what she looks like up top. So the belts are on this side, then the transmission is on this side, and the timing belt is under this cover here. And the serpentine belt is almost impossible to get at from up here. In the wheel well here, this is where I'm going to find pretty much the only access to the belts. You can see the alternator. The alternator has its own belt there, so that's fine. I'm glad that the outer belt broke. That's the air conditioning pump right there. That's the tensioner pulley there. This is the crank pulley here. I'm glad it's the outer one because it's easy to get at the outer one rather than the inner one like the alternator. And the power steering pump is up higher, you can't even see it. But with a little bit of practice and trial and error, I tried some different size belts, and I think this is going to be the one, 39.5. And I found a way where I just hold the belt like this and I just tuck it up in there. I can't even see what I'm doing. I can't even see up in there. I'm just guiding it up in there from basically from experience. This is how I did it previously with trial and error. I just tuck the belt up in there and it'll hang up. It'll hang up on the power steering pump. At least I hope it will. There we go. Okay, I think we're hung up on the power steering pump now, which is a good thing. So I'm going to go up top and just make sure. You can see the pulley barely from up top. You can get at it if you have really skinny arms. So I'm just going to make sure that it's okay. Make sure that all the grooves are in the proper location and the belt is centered in the grooves of the pulley. And then I'll need a wrench for the tensioner. I think it's a 15 mil. Yeah, that's a 15 mil. And I think I want to get on the other side of it. Yeah, this is gonna work. I think this is gonna work. Wow. Get on there. Okay. I got it on the tensioner and the crank pulley here, and I'm pretty sure I got it up top on the power steering. Just like that. The tensioner is spring loaded. I know my hands are probably in the way. There is a place here under the hood, and if you peek, you can see the power steering pump pulley there. It's really tricky, but so I can get my hand in here, my right hand, and I can center it on the pulley there. So there's not a whole lot of room there, but I think I got the power steering going. I'll have to fire it up. This air conditioning pump, the inner part turns a little bit, but it's really tight, and the outer part is, I think the outer part is seized, or maybe this pulley is just, I don't know, she's shot. But the configuration I'm using now, I'm just going to avoid that completely. This is the engine mount here that I was telling you about. So this is actually a common thing on the PT Cruisers that might make a good video. It looks like it's going to be easy to replace as well. Okay, I think she's working. Belt's tight. Power steering's back. I don't really care too much about the air conditioning, and winter's around the corner. I'm gonna go ahead and put the wheel back on. Just recently put the winter tires on, so that's good. I'm going to have to order up an engine mount as soon as I'm able to, and the outer tie rod end, it needs to be replaced as well. I'll show you how I test tie rod ends and bearings and stuff. It's easier to do it with the wheel on, I find. So I'll go ahead and put the wheel back on. Okay, the wheel's back on. So I take the wheel and I just give it the old up and down, in and out, and side. Up and down would indicate like a wheel bearing, like slop or play, and side to side would indicate like a tie rod end. But you see that? There's a little bit of slop there, and I looked inside to see where the slop's coming from. It could be the inner tie rod, it could be the outer tie rod, it could be a really bad ball joint or something if you had one really bad. So I peek my head in there, or I stick a camera in there, give it a wiggle, and all the slop is at the outer tie rod end, which is a common wearing problem, just like brake pads. So that'll have to be replaced soon. And up and down, it's nice and tight, so I'm pretty sure the wheel bearing is okay. And you can't just go by wiggling a wheel, because like one way, left and right, you might get slop on the tie rod end, but up and down you might get a wheel bearing. But if you do have a worn out wheel bearing, it'll go both ways. It'll go up and down and side to side. So I got my power steering back, no air conditioning, and I'm perfectly fine with that. I'll just be happy to have my power steering back, and this was a quick, cheap fix, I guess. 39.5-inch belt. Look at the old one. Oh my goodness. She got tangled up into the air conditioning and power steering, and that's how she came out, just like that. Wow, that's pretty good.